Okay, as there seems to be very few tutorials around on assembling and soldering surface mount components, I thought I would make a short video for the benefit of others who may feel SMDs look a little too advanced to attempt. But with some careful handling, a little patience and taking your time, it's not as difficult as you may imagine, and you should be able to do a very good job. But to make a good job of it, you will need a few small tools to help you. I have small tweezers. I happen to have 3 different types here, some quite large ones, medium sized, and ones with very pointed ends. Then a cocktail stick would come in very handy for manipulating the components. You'll also need a modelling knife to open the components packaging, a soldering iron with a fairly fine bit is a good idea, one similar to this maybe, some solder, fairly fine would be helpful, although it's not absolutely necessary. Some solder braid also will come in very handy if you've got some of this. And lastly, some insulation tape or other kind of sticky tape to hold the PC down and prevent it from moving around on the worktop. Okay, so in this tutorial I'm going to assemble the MERG CAN cab PCB, which is a DCC controller to operate model trains. This PCB happens to be double-sided. We always start with the smallest components first and work up to the largest. So we'll start with the resistors first. So we need to tape this down to the workspace so it doesn't move around. So I'll just start by carefully taping the corners down. 4 pieces of insulation tape here. That will make life a lot easier. That'll prevent that moving around. These are the tiny components that we're going to be attaching to the PCB. As I say, we'll start with the resistors at the top there. The first thing we need to do is to remove the first resistor from its package. Carefully remove the little resistor, peel back the film. It should drop out. There we go. So what we need to do is tin one side of the pad, one of the pads first. Put that blob of solder on there. Then you're going to take your tweezers and while you remelt the solder, you can just push that into place like so. If you're not quite satisfied with the alignment, you can redo that, looking a bit better. And when you've done one side, you can simply complete the other side like so. Okay, so next is our 3 and 4, which is that one and that one there. So again, we just tin one side at a time. Place the resistor. other side again. Then R3. Same again. That's better. Okay, and the other side. Try and get the spike off there. That's it. Okay, and we'll carry on like that with the other 4 resistors or so. So there you can see R3 and R4 soldered in place. Okay, so there's 2 capacitors, C1 which goes there, and C3 is down there. Exactly the same again. Tin one side, one pad. These are even smaller than resistors. And C3, which is there. When you're doing this, you don't want to have the windows open or a fan on. Okay, that's C1 and C3, C2 and C5. C2 is there and C5 is there. These are just a little bit bigger, makes it a bit easier. C2, C5. The next one and last capacitor is C4, which is going to go there. If you notice R7, there is no R7 on this particular kit, so you don't need to fit that one. C4. Okay, that's all the capacitors done. Right, okay, so the next component is a resonator to be fitted, a 4 megahertz resonator, so that needs to be fitted to the reverse side, so I just need to lift up the tape to turn the board around, find where the resonator goes. There, X1, that's the spots. Okay, so I've tinned both sides. Okay, that's in place. The voltage regulator is next, which is this little item here. This goes there. Tin the little pads first. Yeah, this one may be a bit more difficult because the central pad. We need quite a lot of heat to melt the solder. Got it there. That's okay. So next are the ICs to be fitted. Again, we're going to need to turn the board around as they're fitted on the opposite side. Okay. The next component is an IC, which is U2, which goes there. So I'll start off by tinning one pad again. Try and centralize this before there we go. It's down. And you can either do these individually, which I'll try and do. The pins are not too close. If you do bridge the pins like I've just done, it's not a great problem. You just need to get your solder braid and just melt the excess away, like so. Not bad, pretty good. Okay, that's that one done. Okay, this is the other IC that I fitted. It looks pretty good. You can either do individual pins, which I did down one side, and the other side I flooded the pins all across and then soaked up the excess with the solder braid. Either way works just as well. The next thing, I'm just going to clean PCB with a bit of isopropanol to try and get rid of any excess flux that may be lurking on there. Okay, that'll do. Okay, the next thing is to fit all the push buttons. There's 18 of them, and they're just push in, and they must be flat to the PCB. There we are, so that's the next thing to do. Push them in first. Okay. Let's check them. Oh, click. Okay. They're all lined up. So the next thing to do is to solder all those, which is relatively a walk in the park compared with surface mount. Okay. They all look aligned, okay. Apart from maybe that one. Just sat up a little bit. So it needs to be pushed down. That's better. That is better. Okay, so as far as the surface mount components goes, that's it really. I hope the little video has been helpful to some of you, and so have fun.